Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the Afternoon Edition. My name is Issa Nu. Today we shall be focusing on two major issues, but then we'll start with the first one, which has to do with education. For so many persons, we all believe that education is the bedrock of the development of any society. And as you know, education indeed is the bedrock of development, and education for development, among other things, include acquiring knowledge geared at developing alternative values and using acquired knowledge to take transformative actions that addresses challenges in society. Education for development highlights the interdependence of environmental, social, and economic system. It focuses on preparing students to make informed decisions and take actions on environmental integrity, economic viability, thereby creating a just society. What Nigeria has been doing in recognition of the undeniable role education plays in a country's quest for growth and development, Nigeria has made several policies seeking the position of education for effective service delivery. So the nation inherited the British educational system of 6 years of primary education, 5 years of secondary education, and 2 years of A-level. In 1983, the Sisters Reform introduced has major impact in the economy, and definitely since then we've noticed that there have been so much of development across the different substructures that we have in the country, most especially in medicine, law, and some other major courses. So when we look at the word education, it comes to mind that yes, Nigeria is one of the most repositioned society, because many other countries come in to fetch some of our professionals because of how they are trained, most especially from their secondary and then tertiary institution. But one major issue that we still have till this moment is the issue of brain drain. After being trained, they go outside. And how can we put a stop to this? If you remember recently, the president announced the names of ministers, whom most of them have been sworn in. One ministry that is key to development of this nation is the Ministry of Education. So today we'll be looking at that particular phase of all the ministries, that yes, what role will the Ministry of Education play in shaping the development of Nigeria? And then in the second half of the program, we talk about some of these elections that we're expecting to take place, and the by-elections. You know, one of the minister who is serving as the Minister of State for Education left his position to be in this position of the minister, and definitely there is a vacancy created. In some other states, we also have something like that. So we'll be discussing these two aspects of it today. So we'll take a very short break, and when we return, we continue with the conversation.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
challenge of Nigeria as a free state in 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race. I appeal to all our leaders, far and near, to forget the wounds which were inflicted in cause of our internecine altercations. The love of our country should outweigh the love of our petty selves. The enjoyment of individual freedom under the law should mean more to us than our self-centered party programs and manifestos. Common dangers and common enemies alert us on the need for common security. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sardauna, Awolowo, Akitola, Ofarebe, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Taka. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
Our first efforts at democracy and self-government were abruptly arrested in the mid-60s, largely as a result of the incongenial atmosphere engendered by the uncompromising stance adopted by the political parties of the First Republic. Thus, opportunities were lost for our people to interact and learn to accommodate different points of view for the betterment of the country. We must not allow that episode to repeat itself. The new system that will have adopted presents us with yet another opportunity to achieve national integration, which is a prerequisite for the building of a strong and virile nation.
Mr. President, last Saturday, the country which I have the honor to represent, the Federation of Nigeria, became independent and assumed the rights and the responsibilities of a sovereign state. Today, Nigeria has been admitted into the United Nations organization and assumes still more responsibilities. I wish to make our position plain beyond any matter of doubt as regards the African continent. We in Nigeria appreciate the advantages which the size of our country and of its population give us, but we have absolutely no aggressive intentions. We shall never impose ourselves upon any other country and shall treat every African territory, big or small, as our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent. We in Nigeria are a populous country. There are about 40 million of us, and our territory is relatively large. We are willing to learn before we rush into the field of international politics. But we are totally unwilling to be diverted from the ideals which we think true. That is the reason, Mr. President, why we in Nigeria shall not be found to align ourselves as a matter of routine with any particular bloc. Indeed, I hate the very idea of blocs existing at all in the United Nations. it seems to me to be a contradiction in terms. When we hear the world crying out for peace, we may receive the inspiration to deal with these intractable problems and be able really to devote all our resources to the advancement of mankind by applying those eternal truths which will inevitably persist long after we ourselves are utterly forgotten. Thank you, Mr. President.
From that break, and just before the break, I did inform you that today we'll be discussing issues that pertains to education in the first section, and then in the second section we look at issues that has to do with by-election or off-season election, as it's technically being called. And we're having in the studio Ms. Ajia Khadija Onido, who is a public affairs analyst, and also we're having Mohammed Abdurrahman to take a first feast on the issue on education. Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon edition.
Thank you.
It's nice having you. It has been long. We had conversation like this. I remember the last time we had it was on the round table.
Yes.
And now we're having you on the afternoon edition. And also Mr. Mohammed, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Isa.
Okay, let me quickly start with Ajia Khadija Onido. Now we are in a season where everybody talks about development in the world, across the globe. And you know that the issue of education is paramount to this development. And just recently, the president fixed up his cabinet and they've all started working. But what's your take on the current state of education and how do you see it being repositioned under this particular dispensation?
Absolutely, my hopes are high for the cabinet, the minister and the senior minister and the state minister all come with capabilities, and it is our hope that we will see it reflect on education. They will reposition it. We have not been absent when it comes to policies. It has always been a matter of the will to implement these policies, and these two gentlemen now come with the right credentials. If you put this together with how much the president is looking towards innovation and productivity, you will know that he expects them to hit the ground running, and the task ahead is much, and we will see how much they play this their part to see that we get the kind of education that leads to the productivity that will move us from a place of reduce our consumption of things from outside. This has always been a problem, leading to capital flight and, you know, a lot of issues that...
Okay, let me quickly go back to Mr. Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed, for now, you know we have a Minister of State, we have a Minister of Education, and one of the ministers in person of Dr. Sununu has been there for some time, most especially in his political career, and now he has been elevated to the position of being the Minister of State for Education. You know this person. How do you see him changing the face of education in Nigeria?
Well, to be frank, immediately that time I saw the ministerial appointments, I'm very sure the president has made a very good choice. Mr. Tonko Sununu has been doing very well right from his House of Representatives, and he has done extremely well on education in his constituency and all those things. So I'm very sure the education sector in Nigeria is going to move as fast as you can imagine. I'm very sure the funding of teachers will be very, very good because he knew the ways to do all those things. He has been an educationalist for a very long time. He's a surgeon. So I'm very sure that by the grace of God, as time goes on, when the team balances, everything will become normal. And I'm very sure that the education sector of this country now, it will be very, very good. And all the manpower, everything needed to improve education, I'm very sure with these two people now, the education will go as far as we are not expecting. Right now, as you are seeing, they have already started working on these girls out of school in the northern out of school girls in northern part of Nigeria, which is a very, 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 very big problem within the northerners. So, which I'm very sure now they have started working on the thing, because I read something, was it last week? I read something that they've started implementing some issues, how to tackle those issues of out of girls children. Although this Mr. Tonko Sununu and his constituency, he has been sponsoring a lot of ladies to go to university, go to higher institution on his own and pay their school fees and even maybe get an accommodation for them. He has done very well. He knows the values of education, and I'm very sure with this thing, the way it's going, everybody in the north and the entire country, everybody is going to enjoy the education sector of this country now. And I'm very sure with this thing, with though we are facing some insecurities issues, you know, it affects education now. People are afraid of taking their children to school, all those things, because of the insecurities. We know the insecurities is not only in this country, it's all over the world now. But I'm very sure they are working tirelessly to make sure that they overcome all these things, so that children will be able to go back to school and continue studying, and trying to make sure that the funding of this this student loan that you talk of, it is a very good thing, which the president did. It's a very good something. It will help a lot of people who are not capable of paying their school fees to be able to afford this loan and pay the school fees. You know, the criteria which is made to afford this loan is very easy. It's very affordable for everyone. Even the layman now can go to university, can go to a higher education.
I was just discussing before we came to the studio, I was just discussing with our correspondent that is in the National Assembly, Rosemary Okokotega, and then she stated that even the reason why we've not actually seen major action with respect to the issue of the student loan for now is because they are adjusting the bill in order for it to fit into the world system. They can't just go outwardly and then start implementing it. But then if you look at the way things are going so far, because most at times you see Nigerians, a typical Nigerian, want to condemn everything that we do in this country. But one thing that also baffles me more is the fact that you see people, or let me say other institutions from other countries, are coming to Nigeria to fetch our professionals out. If our education is that bad, why are they still fetching our students out to other places, other climes, for them to have major impact in their own society?
I think the issue of bad education in Nigeria is a fallacy. One thing I like to reference to is the number of medical doctors that statistics have revealed that we have in the United States and Britain. You remember during the corona crisis, our doctors had to be stopped from traveling. In fact, at that point, the British government had soft-pedaled the issue of visa and entry for the doctors to come over, down to our nurses and all medical professionals, including the lab people. So this is a critical skill that no one will allow one ill-trained or incapable to come and handle the issue of your health and your life. So the presence of even our health professionals alone shows that Nigeria's education system must be doing right. But this is not to say that there are no problems here and there. It is just a tip to show how much our education can give if it is fed the right things that we need to move it forward. For example, in terms of creativity, we have it inborn, but the output of education is still a problem. How can our education move us towards growth and development? It is only if you have the output of education in physical form. People begin to create things. It leads to reduced dependence on imports, and it reduces capital flight. And this will only come in if certain equipments and infrastructure is made available for impacting knowledge. And critical also is the issue of those that transport knowledge. We need to train and retrain our teachers. Why I am saying this is there's a menace of rising private schools that necessarily don't have the right handlers or teachers in their four walls. The advantage we still see with the government school is teaching is something that you grow with as you experience it over the years. So in government schools, you have those teachers that even if they didn't start strong, time have made them strong, and they have seen different kind of pupils. They know the peculiarity of each student and how to approach the student. But in the private schools, you don't have that. It is the basic minimum they go for. They do not employ people that come with the right set of skills to impart this knowledge. And recently, I see that there is a movement towards changing our federal educations to something else. I think this is a wrong move, but we need to have more of that, equip it more towards technological outputs and knowledge base.
Okay, let me quickly go back to Muhammad Abdurrahman, and I'm still on this same issue. The coming of these ministers, definitely they will have their plans and the rest. I know the senior, the minister itself, Minister of Education, was a former vice chancellor of this university, and then now we have the state minister who is a surgeon, and also I believe finished from the University of Maiduguri, Usman Danfodio University. So, but then I think there's a mix-up somewhere, but still on that, I think he finished from Usman Danfodio University, because I think I read the profile, maybe lectures there. But then still on this same issue. Now, in moving forward, how can we see that, yes, we always talk about policies, we talk about ideas development and the rest of it. How do you see him addressing the issues that has to do with teachers in some of our schools?
You see, as Ms. Khadija said, the training of teachers is very, very vital, which that is the major task we should first of all take. And I'm very sure that the coming of these ministers too, although he believes in empowering people, he believes in sending people to go and seek for more knowledge. When you come to meet him in person, he will first advise you, go and read. Go and read. So you see, someone who notice go and read always, that means he will actually do a very good job in terms of education. And sending teachers to go wherever they're supposed to go and at least acquire more knowledge for them to come and impact those knowledge on our kids. And let's say the policies and the maintaining of minimum standard in our, let's say, basic education and the secondary education is very, very important. Lack of monitoring, that is what we are just facing. Lack of monitoring of what is happening in the school, the infrastructures and all those things. We have the capability and everything for we to meet up to the highest level of education. But lack of monitoring of the policies and the implementation of the policies too. Due to this all Millennium Development Goals and the UBE. Thank God for the UBE, the level of education. Someone will understand where the education will start from and where will it end, where will you acquire it, and how will it be creative. You know, this is the cognitive reason and all those things. Now the way I'm thinking, the way this thing is supposed to be, they should allow people to be able to do what they are supposed to do in the education. People can be creative, not only in the classroom, but maybe you should create a curriculum that will allow children to be doing something that will, not only in the classroom, let's say outside the classroom, that you can be able to create something, think on your own, and be able to bring a reasonable outcome. We all have individual differences. So I don't think maybe only inside the classroom curriculum is going to empower those children to be something else.
Absolutely.
But creating a way extracurricular activities is very good. Let's say like take a look example of China. A lot of the children, when you are growing, a child is growing up, they will first notice what is the child doing, what is he focused on, what he focuses more on. But now we don't do that. We only send everybody to class, teach everybody mathematics, English, basic science, and the rest. So at least wherever a child is coming out, just be thinking of what he will do in the classroom, not what he will do by himself. And that's why I will advise to encourage more on allowing them to think on their own. Extracurricular activities, very, very necessary in improving this education.
So when it comes to the issue of the welfare, because even the extracurricular activities most of the times are guided by professionals, and you don't just give a child the floor for him to just do whatever he or she needs. You need to give them direction. In doing that now, do you really see the Minister of State who handle most of these issues based on his designation? Do you really see him bringing all those things back to our system?
Yeah, I think so. Because of recent, when I traveled back home, I saw some of our younger ones. They were just telling me that they are telling me about the state minister have let's say, introduced something of skills acquisition. When you are out of school, maybe you don't want to go to school, he will find a way of, let's say, giving you extracurricular, something like, let's say, a handwork, something you can be able to do on your own. So I think if he can be able to think of little children like this, I think he will be able to find a very better way to implement this issue to the teachers. Okay. When teachers have very good training, have very good experience, they will be able to allow the children to do what they will be able to impact the children and guide the children on what is best for them.
Okay, thank you so much, Muhammad Abdurrahman, for that, and then also Khadija Onido. Thank you so much for throwing light on this particular issue. So we'll go on a very short break now, and when we return, we continue with the conversation with Abdurrahman Muhammad on issues that has to do with the by-election that we are expecting to take place before the year runs out.
Our first efforts at democracy and self-government were abruptly arrested in the mid-60s, largely as a result of the incongenial atmosphere engendered by the uncompromising stance adopted by the political parties of the First Republic. Thus, opportunities were lost for our people to interact and learn to accommodate different points of view for the betterment of the country. We must not allow that episode to repeat itself. The new system that will have adopted presents us with yet another opportunity to achieve national integration, which is a prerequisite for the building of a strong and virile nation.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
That short break, and still with us in the studio is Abdurrahman Muhammad discussing issues that has to do with education in the first half. And the reason why we had to toe that line is because the present Minister of State for Education is a man that left his position after the President appointed him as the Minister of State. And definitely there will be vacancy being a serving member of the House of Rep before he was appointed. And there are so many offices in election. For now, you've heard of several court cases nullifying inconclusive whatsoever form of Supreme Court judgment or tribunal judgment that has been taking place so far. And then definitely you should be expecting so many persons to be contesting their position. But then in this case of the constituency of Yauri, Changa, and Ngaski in Kebbi State, now the minister is no longer there. Who will now be the next in terms of election in Kebbi State? So, Abdurrahman, you are from this particular state, and you know how the polity and the politics is. That is a state that is well known for the former Attorney General of the Federation, and I think the former EFCC, or the present the former, I should say, EFCC boss. Now, so many issues are happening in Yauri, Changa, and Ngaski. What is really happening now with respect to who becomes the next?
Well, I can say, Mr. Issa, you know, it's a very challenging something, with the fact that what the present minister have done, the fact that people have already seen what a member can do, what he can achieve. He has opened eyes for all the people there. So I think anyone who is coming, he should be someone who is very vocal, someone who can deliver more than, maybe let's say, even if it's more than the minister stuff, but let's say he can do to the peak of his own standard. You see, there are a lot of aspirants there, a lot of them. Although I don't know, even the minister himself, I'm not too conversant with him, all those things, but his good deeds, what he done, all those things, even a blind mind will know that, yeah, someone has did something there. In terms of it, when he was there, he did very, very well. You know when this JAM of recent, JAM going back to the CBT examination distance, it was very stressful for those who will go live from one particular village to the other, one particular town to the other, in the purpose of writing the JAM examination. Someone will go there, a child will go leave his town and go to a particular town to write JAM CBT, because they don't have the CBT in their own constituency. But thank God, the coming of the state minister now, when he was there, he brought a very big, was it 500 student capacity examination, this thing. A very well equipped standard hall for CBT center. Yes. So you see, the people of the constituency they won't go anywhere to go and write examination. They have it there. And the funny part is, he even brought a federal college of education technical to the constituency. Look at, so now he is the minister, and imagine what will happen on this achievement he has done. He's going to support very well for it to keep moving. All we need is all we need now from those people, let's say from I myself and those people from our own constituency, should sit down and reason, who are we supposed to bring? Who are we supposed to bring that will be at least good to, at least will be even closer to Dr. Yusuf Tankosumuni himself, someone who will be loyal to the people, at least someone who will build the people and bring a lot of achievement to the constituency. You see, when the minister left, when the president nominates the minister for ministerial seat, when I saw it, I said, the minister knew what he was doing. The president knew what he was doing, because this man is a very nice man. He's capable of whatever is supposed to be done. And so, at the stage of House of Representatives, I don't think the whole of, I will say my state, no single member that did what he has done in 4 years. When he was a chairman for health, chairman for committee on health there, CS for women now, and CS is free. In your constituency, he brought it free. This snake venom, anti-snake venom, he brought it free. Medical outreach for all those diabetic patients, people with shorter eyesight, hearing stuff. He brought time to time. He brought free outreach, medical outreach.
This same minister.
He started it when he was House of Representative, and I think up to now he still continue doing it. Free CS, free outreach of if you are a diabetic patient or something like that, your drug is free. Your test something, what is it called? This thing test for the sugar level is free, and a lot of things to be done. And let's say rehabilitation, he built a lot of primary health care centers in his constituency. There are some villages in our own constituency that they don't even know what is called a member until the coming of this man. Nobody knows until the coming of this man. He has made people realize how effective a member is to its society, to its constituency. So
that will invariably make it very, very competitive for people to. So in this particular case, I know there are different political parties that are contesting this same position. Is there hope amongst the candidates so far that you have seen?
Well, I've seen some candidates actually, some who are able to go and some who are just politicians who all aim is to just go and just do whatever they want to do there. But I know definitely there are a lot of good ones there. Though I won't say specific that I have a candidate who is, no. All I want is someone who is able, who is capable of doing what is supposed to be done. As long as you are out, I will 100% support you. We have a youth empowerment program that we are doing in our own constituency, which I am actually the chairman of it. And we are trying by all means to see that whosoever is coming, we must make sure he is capable of doing it. Not just someone who will just be giving 10,000 naira to people to think he has done what he's supposed to be doing. No, but something that you will live, that you will do. Even if you are not in this world, people will talk of you. Not the 10,000 naira will just be somebody and tomorrow it has finished. We want infrastructure, people's development, healthcare outreach, and a lot of things like that. Okay, so when the minister was in the House of Representatives, he paid school fees for females in the universities. Even when you paid your school fees, he will refund your money for you, just so that to encourage the girls to go to school. Because in the Northerners, we have lower percentage of girls' education. So he's doing that to make sure that they develop interest. Parents will allow their children to go because they know the little support they will do is just maybe feeding and the rest. He even pays accommodation for them. Let's say he rents a whole apartment outside of the school for boys and girls different. He pays for it, take care of it, and sometimes even give people allowances. So that to encourage their way of education, so that people will have a lot of improvement in their own self. But I'm just praying whosoever is coming, he should be a good person.
So in this case, like the Prime Minister, in person of Dr. Sununu, Tanko Yusuf Sununu, is he from Yauri or Fochanga or Ngaski? Which part of the constituency is he from?
He is from Ngaski constituency.
Okay, is there a rotation plan, or it is still irrespective of where you are coming from? As far as you are from this constituency, you can contest as far as it is APC, or maybe if he is from Ngaski and then he's an Ngaski, maybe it is their turn, so they need somebody still from Ngaski, or it's open to anybody from this constituency?
No, it's an open something.
Okay.
You can go as long as you have a ticket for any other political registered party, the way it's supposed to be, the way it's being done. It's not a rotational something. It's capability of what can you do. When you go, that's just it. Everybody can come and participate. When it's not a rotational something or from this social constituency. The funny part is he comes from one of the smallest local government in the whole constituency. And the minister, you understand? But when he came in, people knew what he has done. People knew when he was a medical doctor, he was a very smart somebody. He's a very religious and smart somebody. When he came on there, he won the election, and Kuma, he did very, very well. I think maybe to my own knowledge, we've never had any other member like him since the creation of our constituency. I can say that because now maybe. Our constituency is the minority of the whole of Kebbi State. Okay. You understand? So we don't even enjoy a lot of benefits from the state and the federal government itself. But the coming of this minister have made people realize that when someone good comes from, even if it is a minority, that it can make a greater achievement. Even if you are from minority, you can make a development that someone who is from majority with all the support cannot do it. As long as you be faithful and do whatever you're supposed to do. There are a lot of people who are aspiring from all this from the vacant seat as we are talking of. So I think a lot of them are some of them are politicians, and I saw some who came, they are academicians. Well, I was happy when I saw some people like prof, doctors, all those things applied for it, came for it, which is a very good something.
But in the past, have you had people of that caliber applying for it?
No, we've never had that people of that caliber. He's the first of his kind. The minister is the first of his kind. You see, in this world, when you do good, God will reward you for it. He did good and God drew. This is his first tenure, 2015. The 9th Assembly was his first tenure. It was his first public office like this. Is the 9th Assembly. So just one tenure, and the country itself, the president saw something in him when he was the reps, and so they appointed him as a minister. So what we are thinking is someone who will have, even if it is not up to his caliber, but someone who is courageous, someone who will, let's say, be bold enough, not a bench warmer.
Yes.
We are not after any bench warmer. Let's say, not even from my constituency. Everybody now, the whole of the country, we have already realized what politics means, what democracy means, what you go, what you deliver. So nobody will want someone who will just go and be sharing 10,000 naira. You won't do anything. You won't see you unless when your 4 years has expired, you come and start going house by house, giving people spaghetti and all those things. We are not after that now. We know now we are facing a very critical, the economy of this country now is very somehow. So we need someone who can support it.
We know the PDP in your state has also been putting so much challenge, and for them to see that yes, they are giving that opportunity. And for some time now, I know in the last 8 years, the previous year before this 2023 election, your governor was an APC person. So do you really see an APC person still winning your constituency, or probably maybe it will go to the PDP?
Well, Malaisa, I won't say I've seen someone from APC who will win. I know anyone from APC, either APC, PDP, ABGA, any political party, as long as you are capable, as long as you are good to go, that is what we want. That is what we are looking for. Okay, take example of the Mr. President appointing Mr. Wike as FCT minister. Wike is from PDP political party, but the minister, the president, the president saw what he can do. The president believed maybe he can restructure the FCT. Maybe that is what we are looking for. Not just party. No. What can you offer? What can you do? No matter the political party you come from, do something that will elevate the party. So on this one, okay, you say okay. For as we are saying now, if there any person that when Mr. Tanko Sunu brought any candidate, he say he supported this, for example, do you think our people will reject the person?
No,
I don't think we will, because we know definitely whosoever he is bringing is going to be someone that he knows that he is going to be best for the system. For example, even if he supported someone, I don't know whether he is or not. I'm just citing an example, if you understand. But what I'm saying is that we have our own youth forum which we are managing, and we want to make sure that this one would not happen like the previous time. We have woken up, we have understood how it is, how it works. You can't just be giving people little money and expect people to vote you also. No, we will make sure we stand by our feet and vote whosoever is the right candidate from whosoever party. We don't care about party as of our constituency is concerned for now. What we are working towards is not only the party, but who can deliver, who can elevate us.
So in this particular case, being one of the youth leader from your constituency, and election comes with violence, how have you been able to tell the people of your constituency, look, it is not about violence, who should we vote, and how do you think that person is going to transform your constituency? Have you been pushing this particular message to your people in terms of making sure that yes, there's not like violence during the time of election?
You know what we are even having, maybe by the end of next week, inshallah, we are planning on having a general meeting for the youth forum for a peaceful protest on election. Let's say organizing a peaceful meeting or something that will enrich and enlighten and educate people on vote, not fights. We don't want to fight. The current security issues we are having is enough for us, for we to start bringing one upon ourselves. We will make sure that we are preaching, and we'll make sure we reach door to door for people to understand, let's just vote, not fight. You know, peace is more than anything. When there is peace in something, you will see progress, you will see development. So we are trying, and we will make sure we reach to the youth for them to understand. Let everybody come out and vote for the right candidate, and very peaceful. It doesn't matter either the political party or so. And all I want from you people is just for us to keep on praying for the state minister himself, for God to protect him, elevate him, and provide him of wisdom for him to deliver for the whole country, for the education sector, and for any sector that he can push his hands in. And for the way he will touch the lives of people. He has already touched a lot of lives from our constituency, and we pray that he should be able to touch more. I want our youth from our particular constituency to please pray for him, support him, not challenges. Not though there are challenges that people must oppose some things, but let's understand the positive part of it. Support the positive. When we are not 100%, we are human. When there is mistake, we should understand there are mistake and call for a correction of that particular mistake. Not violence. We are avoiding violence, and we want everybody to respect and support him.
I love that word, that we are avoiding violence, and everybody that support peace should always make sure that yes, that is the only way that society can thrive. So thank you so much, Mr. Abdurrahman Muhammad, for coming to the program this afternoon. It's nice having you coming from KB State to tell your people that look, there's nothing that is as beautiful as peace, and people should take a cue from the present Minister of State in person of Dr. Tanko Yusuf Sunu. And this is how far we can go today on the program, the afternoon edition. My name is Issa Nu. We started with discussing the issue of education, in which the same Minister of State for Education, Dr. Tanko Yusuf Sunu, will definitely, we hope, that he can bring the same change he took to his constituency during his last sitting at the National Assembly. Have a wonderful day and stay blessed.